All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Salesforce1 platform session. My name's Scott Holden. I run marketing for the platform at Salesforce, and we have got a great show lined up for you this afternoon, so thanks for sticking around. A little bit of housekeeping. We're going to show you guys a couple of amazing demos today. We're going to show you our Heroku technology in action. We're going to show you the new Salesforce1 Lightning in action, as well as a brand new product we announced just this week called Salesforce1 Lightning Connect. We've got a great customer here to share their story. And to set the context about the Salesforce1 platform, for those of you who don't know us very well, the platform is a technology that powers all of our award-winning sales, marketing, customer service applications. But it's also the same technology that's become a full-blown development platform for building custom applications. And we're going to show you how you can use that technology to build applications for your business today. A little bit of housekeeping here. Here's our safe harbor statement. Basically, we'll be talking about some forward-looking things today. I'd remind you to make your purchasing decisions based on publicly available information. And if you want to read this, you can find it on our website. So a quick thank you. First of all of our customers, all of you here in the audience today, you give us an enormous amount of feedback that really shapes the product direction of our technology. So I want to say thank you for providing that feedback. You can see one of the stats here on the screen. 85,000 idea exchange points have been retired. These are suggestions that you've given to us to help us improve the product. So thank you for that. You can see we've now got over 4 million custom applications built on the platform, 1.8 million developers. We've done 60,000 developers trained this year on how to build apps on our platform. So thank you for all the investments you've made, and thank you for showing us the way. It's a pretty fun time to be in technology right now. Hopefully all of you here at the conference today are feeling the energy from Salesforce. You look at what's happening with connected products and this explosion of the Internet of Things. And when we think about it at Salesforce, the real opportunity here is around connecting with your customers in new ways. All these interaction points that have been formed as a result of these new connected products. I think about one of our customers, Honeywell. That example some of you may have seen in our keynote earlier this morning. Think about that new world of being a consumer of Honeywell products. You're using your app on your smartphone. You've got your thermostat connected. They're bringing in contractors to give you better service. They've got visibility back in headquarters. It's this massive connected app ecosystem. And you compare that to where Honeywell was maybe just a few years ago. If you bought a thermostat, you might have filled out one of their product registration cards. That might have been your interaction. They've now got a connection with their customers like never before. And we're powering this revolution with all of our products, our sales, service, marketing, communities, analytics. And what we're going to talk about today is apps and how you can build applications to connect with your customers and employees in new ways. Now, when you think about apps, there's really no better source of innovation happening in our industry right now than apps. They're disrupting everything. And as you heard this morning, every company is thinking about how do I become a software company, but more importantly, how do I become a cloud company? Because that's the way to deliver applications in today's day and age. And it's really where the biggest source of innovation is coming from. Now, people will come to Salesforce and they say, all right, Salesforce, you've been named the most innovative company 4 years in a row now. How do we innovate? How do we do this? And there's no magic formula other than that I would say one of the biggest driving factors that help people innovate is by building apps quickly and iterating on those applications as they go. Partnering with the IT and the business, coming together, because let's face it, when you set out to build an application, there's a very small chance you're going to nail it the first time, which is why we keep getting all these updates to our apps. And they're not happening on a yearly basis. They're happening weekly, daily, by the minute. You guys see this on your smartphones, right? Every day there's a new update to your favorite app. That's the world we're living in, and that's where innovation is coming from. Now, the reality here is that building applications for a lot of companies today is not that easy. We recently surveyed a number of companies out there with The Economist and asked them, were they delivering the apps that they had envisioned? Funny thing is that ideas aren't the hard part here. It's executing on those ideas that it's hard. And what we have here is the app gap. These are the number of applications that companies want to build relative to the ones that are actually getting delivered. And that's where our platform really can step in and help you build applications faster. For the rest of our presentation today, we're going to talk about building customer-facing applications, which is a new and incredibly exciting area for Salesforce. We're going to have a little demonstration of that with Heroku, and my colleague Adam Gross is going to show you how that works. And then we're going to talk about building employee applications. Of course, you know us for sales, marketing, and service, but our customers are building applications for HR and operations and finance, every aspect of their business. One second here. Can we go forward a slide? I thought that it'd be better to show you how this works. We're gonna play a little video to give you a sense for what our customers are saying about how this platform is helping them build applications faster. So why don't we roll the film?
I truly believe that speed is the new currency for business. You gotta move fast. And those that are taking too long to think through it or consider things, they will find themselves left behind sooner than they had expected.
The old way of doing business, the old way of building IT systems, it's broke.
You absolutely have to keep up. You can't get stuck in a rut. You have to evolve. You have to change with your customers, change with the technology, and stay ahead of it.
I can't bury my head in the back office, but we have to look to the future in different ways. It brings us into the world of being business people, not technologists.
Just being able to put so much on one platform and have the ability to innovate in different ways on a platform is really very exciting.
100% of the infrastructure is taken care of, fault tolerant, redundant, connected.
It had the point-and-click declarative language, very quick to develop. It had inbuilt workflow already there. You just needed to configure it.
Everything you need is right there in one system. The whole cloud is mobile enabled. It's not like you go to a different infrastructure or you go to a different tool set.
We don't have to spend our time investing in the architecture. We're able to do a lot more with the limited resources that everyone is dealing with.
It saved us 6 figures somewhere at least, and probably knocked 6 to 9 months off of the project.
We went from a IT shop that was very much a secondary thought to an IT shop that was sort of leading the business and showing them the way.
It's really changing it from IT, information technology, to innovation technology.
The playground has dramatically expanded, but the impact you potentially have as CIO on the business is so much bigger than it was before.
Some pretty amazing testimonials there from our customers about the success they're having on our platform. And you'll notice if you're studying the technology industry that we go about our platform technology in a radically different way from the other competitors that we have out there in the marketplace. We're a different kind of platform. And the biggest benefit is that all of the different services that you hear, everything from our collaboration engine to our workflow engine, security, identity, it all works together. You know, we have an idea at Salesforce that the first line of code that you write as a developer on our platform should be a line of business code to solve a problem, not a line of plumbing code. And that's really the secret sauce of the platform. And if you look at one other major reason why companies are going faster is that we have a platform that's built for IT and also business. Because if you're not solving a business challenge, you're not moving your company forward. And so we have tools for coders, people that want to code in any language, they want to be able to deploy applications fast. But then we also have technology to let mere mortals like myself without a computer science degree build applications with point and click. And that's at the heart of our new Lightning technology, which we're going to show you in just a few minutes. Now, to bring this to life, I wanted to talk to a customer here in just a second. But one other quote I wanted to share with you. This is a quote from a blog post that just happened last week. And this is one of our customers, Dan Appleman. He's a developer. He's now the CTO at one of our AppExchange partners. And he said, these are tough problems. And tough problems call for serious professional developers, the elite, the best of the best. Except on the Salesforce platform. where anyone can program because those problems don't exist. And I think this quote really highlights that concept of not having to code lines of plumbing, but instead building business value. And so Dan, he wrote a great post about the rise of the citizen programmer, and I'd encourage you to go check it out. So now I want to interview one of our customers, Brian Genowine. Brian, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Scott.
Let's come on over here. Brian, you've got an amazing story. You work for First National Bank. And I know you've been a reasonable Salesforce customer now for a couple of years. I wonder if you would just share your story. Tell us a little bit about your company and what you do for them.
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity to share the story. I hope it's encouraging to some of you out there. My name is Brian Genowine. I'm the Director of CRM for First National Bank, and I run an agile team of 3 that I think really stretch the definition of administration for Salesforce. We spent the first 2 years, I think, like a lot of Salesforce customers would, Sales Cloud implementation, and really the power of platform and Force.com underneath that helped us migrate more than 16 different disconnected CRM systems down to 2 in 2 years because of the speed and efficacy of which we can get all this data centralized onto one platform. What really started to broaden our perspective on the Salesforce portfolio of products and really drew our attention to platform was when we started a relationship with a company called Precision Lender, which provides a very powerful loan pricing and strategic pricing tool for our company. And our requirement was integration upfront. We wouldn't sign the contract with them if they did not agree to integrate into Salesforce. So we introduced them to platform. They built an integration for us on it, and then later packaged it and sealed it and shipped it on AppExchange. You're welcome, every other bank that's buying that now. But it really opened our executive leadership's eyes to the power of platform.
It sounds like a lot of our customers here in the room, you started the traditional CRM use case. You added some integration. It sounds like you soon started to discover the platform under the hood. For customers here, every license of Salesforce comes with the platform included. And then it sounded like you started to build some pretty interesting things. Maybe share with us some of the new applications that you've built.
Yeah, and these honestly started as musings. We wanted to solve other problems. Our HR team is probably the broadest group that's benefited from the most innovation on platform. We have a talent recruiting team. It's 5 people that recruit for more than 5,000 employees across the organization. And their method of managing employee referrals consisted of email, various abuses of spreadsheets, and for Dakota Taylor, Post-it notes all over her computer screen. So we saw this, and I took my team aside for a day and said, you know what? We're going to spend half a day on Friday, and we're going to build them an application called FNB Recruits. We set up a custom object, a few custom fields, and introduced these managers to this tool and blew their minds in minutes. They had organization, they had workflow, they had email alerts and notifications. And then we took out the iPad and showed them it was already mobily enabled and painted a new picture for how they work. They could go to career fairs now and take out their iPad and have potential applicants fill out a form right there on the iPad. And it's centralized right in their application, actioned immediately by everyone else in the organization. And then that kind of caught on like fire. So another group in HR, our community development group, responsible for helping us manage our investments in our communities throughout our footprint, heard we built a cool toy. And they said, we'd like one. We'd like one to manage our employee board referrals, our community service, our volunteer activities. So we downloaded the Salesforce Volunteer Force app off of AppExchange, popped the hood off that thing, customized the heck out of it, and in a couple of weeks shipped a brand new app called FNB Volunteers across our organization to centralize and track all of our community involvements.
Awesome. A great story. And I know you were at Dreamforce. You saw Salesforce1 Lightning. What did you think?
I was a little jealous that we didn't have it earlier. Not that a half a day was too much time to spend to build something. I will say me and my team sat through one of the Lightning app builder tutorials, and in about 10 minutes quickly started building a new app. The Hello World one was cute for any of you guys that were there and did that. We actually started piloting and testing out a new app that we're calling FNBO Hero, just to kind of kick the tires.
Hero, okay.
We want to make every employee a hero. So the thought was, we wanted to do 2 simple things: create a case in our org and route it to the right team if there's a customer complaint, and create a customer success story and route it to our customer.
The idea of letting everyone in the company be in customer service.
Yeah.
It's an awesome story, Brian. Thank you for coming and sharing it with us today.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Round of applause for Brian, please. So for the rest of our presentation, we're going to walk through building customer-facing apps and employee-facing apps. And to talk about customer-facing apps, I want to welcome Adam Gross, our VP of Product at Heroku. Adam, over to you.
Thanks so much, Scott. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for spending some time with us. I want to spend a couple minutes really quickly giving you a real brief tour of Heroku and help you understand both a little bit about what Heroku does and how it fits into the broader Salesforce1 platform. Being part of the internet, being part of the technology industry right now is really a uniquely exciting place. And that's because we live at this special time of this app revolution. Never before have apps, has the internet, have applications and code had such a profound impact on so many different parts of the economy. And we see this every day in our lives as consumers. We see how things like our experience with even something like lights, or obviously transportation with things like Lyft, or our e-commerce experiences with things like Instacart, which is a fantastic shopping service we have in San Francisco. Hopefully they're out here in New York too. These are all applications that people are building that are really not only changing business models, but changing how individuals and consumers are really relating to companies. And this is really at the core of what Heroku does. We're about helping create those applications that can really transform the customer experience. And that's a really important part of the broader Salesforce1 platform, because what we want to be able to do is create apps that are really impactful for the business. We've probably all downloaded an application that might be brochureware, maybe it has some nice images, but what really makes those apps that we all love and use every day so powerful is that they're connected to the rest of the company. They're connected to the business processes. And that's where these two platforms come together. The employee-facing business processes, all the things that you heard, either whether it's inside of a bank or any one of the other Salesforce customers, can now be easily augmented with really dramatic and beautiful customer experiences that are built on technologies of the consumer internet, things like Node and PHP and Java and Rails, really easily and deployed with the same kind of value proposition that you're already familiar with from Salesforce, which is you don't have to write the plumbing. You just put in the code, we run, scale, manage all of those applications for you. And it's really those two things together that we think are the keys to creating these transformative applications. And one of the things that we want to do, though, is make it really easy for you to be able to leverage these two models, to be able to connect your employee-facing apps and your customer apps. And to do that, we introduced earlier this year a technology called Heroku Connect. And for those of you who are familiar with building on the Force.com platform and the idea of kind of custom objects and fields and data and workflow, you understand all of that value that you've created and have inside of your application today. With Connect, all of that is immediately and automatically available to you in your relational Postgres database that's running on Heroku. So you can build on these two platforms without ever having to worry to integrate them, without having to think about how these two things relate, with the data automatically and seamlessly connected between the two. And in a minute, we're going to show you one of the latest features of that. And where all of this comes together from Heroku is really our core value, which is focusing on the developer experience. Our mission at Heroku is to really win the hearts and minds of developers, and we do that for a very important reason. One is we want to make developers as productive as possible. We want to help them unleash their creativity and their productivity to be able to build the best applications they can. But why all of you and the business side might care about that is that's the way the developers can have the biggest impact. If they're able to iterate faster, if they're able to be more productive, then we know that we can help them become more effective for all of you. So if you're not a developer, I encourage you to tell them about Heroku. And if you are one, I hope you're using Heroku today and look forward to hearing more about how you're using us. With that, I wanted to spend a couple minutes and show you what this looks like in real life. So I'll ask my colleague Dylan to bring up the demo. And quickly want to highlight two things. First, show you an example of an app on Heroku, and then I want to show you one of our new features that we launched earlier this week. So just to give you an idea of what we mean by these kind of customer-facing apps and these kind of beautiful experiences and how that relates to those employee-facing apps, what you're looking at here is an app running live on Heroku right now. This is the Toyota Motor Europe website. This is what they use for their car configuration to offer information about all the different models they create. And you can see it's this kind of rich visual experience that you'd expect on the consumer internet. Again, a great match for the kinds of applications that are built on Heroku. But want to take a minute to just kind of go under the hood and show how Heroku and an app like this relates to the rest of your Salesforce.com deployment. And to do that, what we're looking at now is the dashboard for Heroku. So this is equivalent to the setup screen that you're probably familiar with from the Force.com side, of course, now in the Heroku universe. And want to highlight two things that are here. First is we're going to have a relational database, just a standard open source Postgres database running on Heroku, and we have Heroku Connect. And so what we've done here is inside of this database, we have a bunch of data like you would typically have in a relational database. In this case, what we've done is just put the TechCrunch Crunch-based data. So we've got a couple 100,000 entries about different companies and their funding and status, just as kind of a fun data set. And Dylan can show you what that looks like from in the query. Just standard straight SQL, so we get to show a little bit of code here, which Scott always likes when I do. And what we're going to do now is take this data that's just living in an object, living in a relational database, and make it automatically appear as a custom object inside of Salesforce. So to do that, we're going to open up Heroku Connect. And inside of Connect, you'll see something new here that we just launched last week, which is leveraging the Lightning Connect technology that Scott referenced. And this is called Heroku External Objects. And so Connect is talking to this database, and inside of the settings, in order to make that table available to Salesforce, all I need to do is click a button. Literally just select it in the checklist, and it's available. And when I go into my Salesforce org, you'll now see, and I've obviously added this as an object using standard setup, I now have a companies tab, and if I go ahead and view all there, in real time, what this is doing is displaying this object. But unlike a traditional object, where the data is living in Salesforce, as you guys probably know from your use of Salesforce, this data is living inside of Heroku Postgres. So that means that you can write SQL against it, you can build your Node, Rails, other kinds of applications on it, but yet make it seamlessly available. And of course, that's also great because you have the full power of Postgres underneath that, which of course is used by a lot of really large-scale consumer applications. So real quick view, one final thing for the developers in the audience. We just launched it today, so I thought I'd highlight it. Dylan, if you go to the blog, you'll see that we just announced our Dropbox sync today at the show. That means that you can now push code to Heroku automatically using Dropbox without the command line. So for the Heroku developers out there, I'm sure you'll love that. Look forward to talking to all of you more at the show and learn about how we can help you use Heroku. Back to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Adam. Great little view into Heroku. So thanks for sharing that. So hopefully that gives you a sense for how you can build amazing, engaging, customer-facing apps with Heroku. And now let's switch gears and talk about building employee-facing apps. And when you think about this world of employee-facing apps, there's one concept that I wanted to start out with. And it's really at the foundation of Salesforce. When you think about this concept of upgrade, in our personal lives, it's a pretty powerful thing, right? You upgrade your car, you upgrade your phone, you upgrade your house. Hooray, everybody's excited. When you talk about upgrades in the world of enterprise software, it's not such a rosy picture. And if there's one thing that Salesforce has brought to the computing industry at large, is this concept of the upgrade being a positive thing. And that's because the way we do upgrades, we upgrade our service 3 times a year. It's a brand new release. And just like any of your favorite consumer-facing apps, when that upgrade goes live, you automatically have access to it. You don't have to do anything. It just shows up one day, and you get access to all these amazing new technologies. And if you look at some of the most impactful technologies we've released over the years, everything from the invention of custom objects and the App Exchange and Visualforce and Chatter and the Salesforce1 mobile app just a few years last year at Dreamforce, we've had some pretty amazing things that our customers literally just woke up to one day. They didn't have to do anything, and all the customizations and apps that they have written over the years just worked with these new advancements. And that's also the case with Salesforce1 Lightning, our brand new announcement. And you heard a little bit about this morning. It's a new framework for building applications quickly that breaks apart applications into components that you can then drag and drop and assemble for any device. Now, rather than me spending a lot of time talking about it, we're going to give you a demonstration. But there are a few key components that I want to highlight for you all because there was a ton of great new technology unveiled at Dreamforce. We've got this new Lightning component framework that developers can build components with. We have the app builder where non-developers can point and click and drag and drop their way into application development. Process builder for designing workflows in just a matter of minutes with point and click. Our new community builder for standing up communities for any kind of use case, sales, service, you name it. And then lastly, Lightning Connect. We announced this last week, this brand new real-time integration technology, again, that you can set up in just a matter of clicks. So to bring this to life, I want to do a little demonstration of this. Before I do, I'll touch a little bit more on Lightning Connect since it's brand new, and I want to really kind of highlight how this is a new breed of integration. Because the power here is that it literally is point and click to set up. The data is not copied in Salesforce. It's referenced in real time. You just saw that when Adam showed you that it applies to Heroku data as well. And then lastly, when you bring this data into Salesforce, it looks and behaves just like any other data. It's got the full power of our platform behind it and is fully extensible. So I'd encourage you to just to go and check this out. Now, to show you all this in action, I'm going to ask Kane, who's sitting right here, to give us a little demonstration. But actually, we're going to start with a film before you. Let's roll the film to give you some context of a great customer story, Brown-Forman, to set up this demo.
Old IT, I think of mainframes.
Complexity comes to mind right away.
Order taking.
Bureaucratic.
Slow to react.
Big budgets.
Monolithic, large applications.
Saying no to people.
I think the new age of IT is different.
New IT to me is collaborative.
Fast.
What people need.
Rapid development.
What people want.
Being able to say yes.
The role of the CIO has changed dramatically. I can't bury my head in the back office. We have to look to the future in different ways. Salesforce.com brings us into the world of being business people, not technologists.
It's been a massive switch.
Brown-Forman was founded on the concept of putting whiskey into sealed bottles. We're an innovative company at our heart, and one that owns fantastic beverage alcohol brands that we're very proud of. Now, suddenly we were at a very different pace. Touching consumers and dealing with consumers on a daily basis is very, very different than our older business model.
If you're going to continue to help your company grow, you need to change. This change is not going to stop.
What has changed for IT is that we now, for the first time, have a seat at the table.
We're going through an app revolution. We need apps to do everything from finance to HR to supply chain to our production operations. When I first saw Force.com, I actually couldn't believe that you could do something that fast. I'm like, no way. I mean, but it really was.
You can do anything that you need your business to do. It lets us write once and deploy everywhere.
The power is being able to automate business processes in a completely point-and-click fashion.
The aha moment was just beginning to understand how simple our environment could become.
We see something we want to do, oh, there's an API for that. It's just like a kind of grab and go.
With Force, we're able to build applications that are straightforward, intuitive, and easy to use, on top of everything mobile.
As a developer, what I love about the Salesforce1 platform is you don't have to do anything else to worry about mobile development. You've already written it. It already runs.
If we're building applications that require somebody to be sitting at their desk, we're making a mistake.
We're a very lean IT organization.
Where we used to program, we don't have to program anymore.
With Force.com, you can be a regular business analyst and you can still build a great application that's going to solve a lot of problems.
You can sit with the business, gather the requirements, show them, make changes on the fly. Really? You already did that? Sure.
Those victories allow us to get closer and closer to the people we need to sit by to help change the company.
With Force.com, it makes us feel like we're superheroes because we're making applications that actually have a business impact.
They ask for it by name now. I want a Salesforce app.
Everybody in Brown-Forman touches Salesforce every day. It's a huge part of the fabric of the company. And to me, that's extremely powerful.
This is the new way of doing business. I was in the business of saying no.
We've changed exactly how IT is seen.
The sheer fact that we did 45 apps that are in production in less than 3 years is amazing.
The way you get the seat at any table is showing your worth. And by using Salesforce.com, we've shown our worth.
I love that story. And part of what I love about it is Brown-Forman is not a technology company. But 3 years ago, their IT organization decided that they were going to stop focusing on the back office and infrastructure and start partnering with business to be innovative and drive them forward. And as they said in the video, they've created over 40 apps. Let's take a look on a mobile device and see some of these apps that Brown-Forman has created. So you can see when we go into the app menu here, we have MyBF, which is a community for Brown-Forman. We have Wombat, which is used by their sales organization. They also have apps for their Q&A and inspection. They have apps for their vendors. And then they have my favorite, you'll see at the bottom there, is the Buy the Barrel app. And for those of you who don't know about this, and this is something that I learned about recently, if you love Brown-Forman spirits, you can buy an entire barrel of Jack Daniel's or Woodford Reserve just for yourself. And you can schedule a tasting and come in and taste your barrel. You can design a custom label for your barrel. And then you can watch that barrel as it goes through the process of being crafted to being tested to then being bottled. And the great thing about this is Brown-Forman manages the entire by-the-barrel process for their employees on Salesforce. So let's take a look at some of the other things that Brown-Forman does with Salesforce. Let's go ahead and go to the desktop. And you'll see here, this is Brown-Forman's custom desktop. And here we have an application that they've designed. And you can see when you look at the tabs across, they have tabs for their inspectors and they have tabs for their vendors. So this is an inspector-vendor application. And what I want to spend the rest of the demo doing is showing you how easy it is to use these new Lightning tools that Scott just introduced to build a new app. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an inspections app. And I'm going to work here with Dylan, who's down in our demo booth at the end. Say hi to everybody, Dylan.
Hey, everybody.
And Dylan and I are going to build a new inspection app. And the reason we're going to do that is right now the inspectors at Brown-Forman are working with clipboards and pieces of paper and pens to record their inspections as they go from barrel to barrel. So we're going to see if we can't fix that and build them a modern, innovative, connected app to handle their inspections. So we're going to start by going into Setup. And for those of you that are familiar with Salesforce, admins and developers, you know that Setup is really under the hood and where the power of Salesforce lies. So Dylan's going to go into our new Lightning app builder, and now we're going to follow a wizard. And what he's going to do here is choose the type of app, the layout of the app, and then he's going to give the app a name. He's going to call this My Inspections. And I want to do a quick orientation right now of the app. And you'll see on the left-hand side, we have all of these different types of components. We have standard components, which are the things you're familiar with from Salesforce, like a related list, a report chart. These come out of the box. Then we have custom components. And custom components are built by Brown-Forman's developers. And then finally, we have App Exchange components. And App Exchange components are built by Salesforce partners. And we use all of these new custom UI components to drag and drop and build an application. So Dylan's going to do that now. First, he's going to add this related list. He's going to choose the batch object. He's going to put a report chart in so that inspectors can see the progress that they've made. And then finally, he's going to use a new custom component built by Brown-Forman, scan barcodes so that their inspectors can pull up a batch and go faster. So now he's going to save that and choose where we want it to be in the app menu on the mobile device, and then he'll activate it. And we can now go back to the mobile device and take a look and open that app, and we can see that as we pull it up, we now have the new Batch Inspections app. We can open it, and we see we've got our app that we just built in a few seconds. We've got our list of inspections that an inspector needs to make. We have their progress and batches where they are by stage. We even have this barcode functionality so that we can scan a barcode. And I want to point out real fast that we built this app and pushed it live in a few seconds. There was no need to download a software patch, to do an update. The IT organization didn't have to think about the infrastructure or worry about deploying the app out to all their employees. It's just ready that fast. So now I'm going to have Dylan scan a barcode. Dylan, can you scan a barcode? Great. So now we've got our inspector who scanned their barcode, and this immediately takes them into the batch that they're working with. And you can see they can now go through and rate that batch on a variety of qualities. Now, the problem I have with this is that we're using a mobile phone here, and it uses touch and swipe. And so I'd like to take advantage of that. So let's go back into Lightning App Builder and see if we can't build a second page to this app. Let's go back to the wizard, add a second page. We're going to choose a record detail page, and we're going to add these custom touch and swipe components built by Brown-Forman. So Dylan's going to pull over the pH test. He's going to add color. He's going to add taste. And then most importantly, he's going to add pass-fail. And that's important so that an inspector can pass or fail the batch. Now, Dylan, what happens if an inspector comes to work one day and instead of bringing their phone with them, they bring a tablet? Do the developers at Brown-Forman need to redesign all of these components? How do we handle that?
No, they don't have to redesign anything. So the great news with these custom components is they're dynamic. They can scale to whatever device you're going to be using. Could be a tablet, could be a smartwatch. So I'll just go to this drop-down. We'll click on the tablet view, and here you can see the app has re-rendered with additional information directly for the tablet.
That looks great. Yeah, let's go ahead and add inspection history since we have a little room. And now the inspectors can see about all the batches they've inspected. And now let's go ahead and push that and take a look and see what it looks like in the mobile app. Great. So we've got our mobile app back up on the screen. We can now go into this new view and see in our app, we now have all of these controllers. And Dylan, can you interact with some of those for us?
Yeah, we're doing the inspection right now. We'll set our pH level, our color. We'll go ahead and set the taste preferences based on what we taste. And we'll go ahead, if we want to, we can pass the inspection right here from the app.
That's great. I actually, hold on a second before you pass that inspection. Because here's the thing. Right now, if we pass that inspection, that's going to update the record. But what if I want to let everybody in the warehouse know that that batch has passed inspection? So if I want to do that or trigger any type of process, I can actually use the new Lightning Process Builder to do that. So we're going to go ahead and show that to you. We're going to go back to that Setup menu. We're going to click on Setup and go under the hood again. Dylan's going to do a quick search for Lightning Process Builder. He's going to launch that. And you can see that we've already started a process here for our batch inspection. So he's going to edit that. And you can see we've got two criteria. We've got pass and we've got fail. And for each of those, we can take a variety of actions. We can take immediate actions like posting to chatter, or we can take scheduled actions like coming back to revisit a batch that didn't pass inspection the first time. So what I'd like to do, if you remember earlier I talked about the buy the barrel application and being able to buy your own barrel. Wouldn't it be great if as a customer, I could know when my barrel passed inspection? So let's do that now. Dylan's going to select an action type. You see we've got a variety of actions here. He's going to choose to send an email alert. And we're going to call that customer email, and we're going to send that customer an alert to let them know that their batch has passed. He's going to choose an email template, and he's going to save it. And now we can go back to the mobile phone, and we can see on the mobile phone here that if you go ahead and pass that inspection, great. So now we've triggered those automatic actions in Process Builder, and the email has been sent to the customer. And now we're back to our details menu. I see up there we also have related. Why don't we swipe right and take a look at that? So that related menu lists items that are related to this specific batch. And so we've got our bottles there, and we have the inspections that have already been done on the batch. But there's one item, since this is an app we talked about having for vendors and inspectors, that I'd like to have on there. I'd like to have the ingredients that went into the inspection on that list. The problem is those ingredients live in an SAP database that exists completely outside of Salesforce, that Brown-Forman uses to manage their vendors and their ingredients. And so what we need to do is figure out a way to get that SAP database into Salesforce so we can access this information in the mobile app. And historically, that's been a little bit difficult. But thanks to the new Lightning Connect, we can now just, through a few clicks and a few checkboxes, add that directly into the mobile app so that we can see the ingredients that are in this batch. So let's go back to the desktop again. We'll click Setup. We'll go to Lightning Connect. And you can see that we already have this SAP data source added. So there it is. We're going to go ahead and click inside of that. And then all we need to do is choose this table that we want to bring in of ingredients. So we're going to click one checkbox and synchronize it. And you can see using Lightning Connect, we are bringing in real-time data from an outside database into Salesforce, and bringing that in as an external object that's going to act just like any other object in Salesforce. And Dylan, why is this so important and revolutionary for us?
The exciting thing here is not just that you bring the data in, but you're actually creating an entirely new class of object inside Salesforce. As you said, it's an external object, so not only does that data get brought in, but it creates that object in real time.
Great. So let's take a look at it. So we're going to go back to the mobile phone. We're going to go back to those related items and refresh. And there it is. We have our new SAP ingredients. We can click into those ingredients, and we can see here are the ingredients for that batch. We can even see the details of the ingredients, the vendor that supplied them, where they came from, when. And this ties all our vendors together as well. So just in a few minutes together, we've created this brand new inspections app. We've used Lightning App Builder to build the app itself, Lightning Process Builder to simplify all the processes and notifications associated with it, and we've used Lightning Connect to pull in external data. And that's the Lightning suite of products that Brown-Forman or anyone at any company can use to help innovate, to help share information, and to help your business move faster. Thank you.
All right. Awesome job, Kane. How about that? Have anybody ever seen integration happen that fast? That's the new Lightning Connect. Pretty cool. All right, we're almost out of time here, so I'm going to be really quick and wrap this up. I wanted to leave you with one parting thought around this concept of coders and point-and-click developers working together, and it's the idea around Toyota and the concept of car manufacturing. And one of the cool things about, if you think about car manufacturing, it's really more like car assembling. And I think this is a great analogy for how to think about Lightning Connect, is that we've created or Lightning, the general technology, we've created all these components. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time and build everything from scratch. You don't have to go and build every little component because, let's face it, developers are a precious resource, and you don't want them to have to reinvent the wheel every single time. You think about how the car manufacturers have become assembling companies and apply that metaphor into the world of application development. And the message is simple. Only code what you need to code. And if you can take advantage of some of these amazing tools and put them in the hands of business analysts and admins to build apps, you should do it. OK, so a couple of housekeeping things. We're running a really cool promotion right now where if you go to the product showcase in our expo floor, we're running a promotion to help you build your first app. Maybe you've never tried the Lightning products. Maybe you've never built a custom app on Salesforce. Go check it out. We're going to help you do it. Build your first app for free. And then lastly, we are doing something kind of cool here. We are giving away a drone. You saw the drone in the keynote this morning to 3 lucky winners here in the room today. We've actually put golden tickets under your seats. There's 3 of them in the audience, so check under your seat and see if you've got a ticket. If you do, congratulations, you just won a drone. Do we have anybody? Any winners? Is anybody sitting with a yellow one under their seat? If you find one, just come back to the Product Expo. We have a winner? We have a winner here? All right, we got 1 drone over here. There should be 2 more. Come back to the Product Showcase. We will give you your drone. Thank you very much for coming today. It's been an amazing show. Check out all this technology in the Product Showcase, the Dev Zone. We appreciate it. We appreciate your business. Thanks again.